Okay. Sorry, y'all. I just hit record, so y'all missed the first part of this. Shout out to Kay, got one new ambassador this week. Crystal for intentionally relationship building. And I know Crystal well, and I know that's out of her comfort zone to intentionally build those relationships. Crystal was on here earlier. I don't see her right now. Lynn, shout out to you for starting conversations with total strangers. That's what she did this week. And that is huge. And that's breaking out of your comfort zone. And Lynn, I would like to come back because you said on your sheet that you had a question about sip and see. So I want to come back to that and answer any question you have about a sip and see. Heather, I'm going to come back to you in just a minute too. There's something on your sheet that I wanted to talk about. Rhonda McCoy, a shout out to Rhonda, my level 1 in Iowa, who is always in action. And this is one thing she does, and I love doing this too, y'all, but she's always every single week, she is meeting somebody for coffee, and she is expanding her relationship group. And not only for just Plexus, she is stepping out and meeting people for coffee and lunch every week to build relationships. And she has made some powerful new relationships this past few months. So shout out to you, Rhonda. So we want to go back, and I had asked Stacy Porterfield to share for a minute. And we're just on this group, it's real, and we're just vulnerable, and we just want to be honest and share how we really feel, no matter if it's up or down, because y'all, this business sometimes can be hard. And so one thing, I reached out to Stacy today because on her sheet, I saw that she said that she had struggled with mindset this past week. And I know we all have those times, every single one of us. No one is immune. So I'd love, Stacy, for you kind of share that for just a couple minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, about maybe why you think you did and what you did to kind of get past that.
Today I kind of spent in reflection. Datha kind of asked me to meditate a little bit about why I thought I was where I was. And I'm going to say this, but I'm going to try not to cry, but I may sob, so ignore me. But I've come to realize that life has just thrown some stuff at us lately. And I'm one of those people that I just push through. It's my personality to charge full ahead. And I realized that I'm just a little broken, to be honest. A little broken right now, a little empty. And I need to learn how to fill myself up. I haven't been very good at loving myself. I don't know if anyone else struggles with that, but I'm really good at loving on others. And it started to affect my mindset, because when you don't feel filled up yourself, your mind garbage just kind of builds. And that's kind of what had happened with me, is I allowed life circumstances to get in my head and to mess with that. And so today I spent most of the day honestly listening to praise and worship music to try to get my head right. And I need to start loving on myself more, because I'm no good to anybody else if I'm not doing that. So I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but it's just been a roller coaster. And instead of reaching out for help, I just kind of kept pushing through, thinking that it would just get better. So I'm actually really thankful that Datha asked me to do that, because I didn't really know why it was the way it was. And I need to slow down and take care of myself a little bit so that I can be better at taking care of others.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacy, because there's no way we can do this business, y'all. Especially not even, we're trying to share health and happiness with others. So if we're not healthy and we're not happy, we can't. But also, it's kind of tough being told no. It's kind of tough sometimes when people don't want what we have, even though we know it will help them. So you have to think of good things. And when Stacey started talking, my mind just went to the scripture. It went to Romans 12:2. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I think that's something we have to do every single day. We can't let a day go by. And then Philippians 4:8 came to mind. Whatever is just, honorable, pure, lovely, this is what we're supposed to think on. Whatever is excellent, worthy of praise. And I think sometimes we get in that negative mindset where we just think of, it's just, we have bad things happen to us, guys. we have bad things happen to us. I know I've shared this with some of y'all a couple weeks ago. Well, it's been to be 2 weeks on Saturday that we lost our dog that we've had for 7 years. And it's really took a toll on me. And I told Jason today I'll be fine for a few days until if somebody mentions it or I think about it, and then I just fall apart. I have to think on what is good and lovely and excellent. And I can't think about the horrific tragedy of that day and what went along with it. If I sit around and dwell on the horribleness of that moment, then I'm just going to be in the dumps all the time. And my mindset's going to be horrible. So you have to control your mind. Your mind can be controlled, and you control it, and you control it with the help of Jesus Christ. That's how you control it. There's no other way. You can control your mind, but you have to stop thinking about the negative and concentrating on the negative and concentrated on what is lovely, pure, good. Think about what's good. There's so much good stuff. So thank you, Stacy, for sharing. We cannot do our job unless we take care of our mind and ourselves first. There's no possible way. So anybody else have a win they want to share? Anybody at all? I think we'll have time for like 1 or 2 wins. Okay, go ahead, Lynn. I'd love to hear from you. Got you unmuted, I think. There you
go. So tonight on the way home from dinner, because I was like trying not to run red lights to get here on time, from dinner, my husband was like, stop by and get us a couple of Mega Millions. It's up to 67. So anyway, I went in the, like a filling station, and, it's just the lady and me. And, I got my stuff and I walked out and I'm like, I needed to give her a card. I should have given her a card. Why didn't I give her a card? So I went back to the car, got a card, and I went back in and I said, hey, if you're looking for a way to make some extra money sometime, here's this card. And and some guy had just come in who was like the other person who works there. And he's like, hey, I like to make money too. I'm like, would you like a card too? So I gave him a card too. So we'll see. But it was so scary to do that. Like, my heart was beating fast, and I don't know why. It's so silly. But anyway.
And that's always great to do. I remember last year I had a conversation with the manager in Charming Charlie, and Jade was trying on clothes, and I talked to her for a long time. We left. I went to the car, and I did the same thing. I have to give her a card and a catalog. And so I turned around and walked back in and said, hey, we've been talking for so long, and I just felt prompted to bring this to you. Ended up, she had a medical condition. So, I mean, when you get prompted to go back and do stuff like that, you better listen to that still small voice. That's Jesus trying to help you with your business most times. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you. One more person want to share any win this week? Okay, go ahead, Crystal. Okay, go ahead. You're muted now.
So today, I have, I guess, kind of a fear of reaching out to some of my teachers, just because I haven't been there that long. I'm still building those relationships with them. But one of my teachers in particular, my art teacher, had mentioned that her and her husband, they've been married for a couple years now, and they've kind of gotten in the rhythm of things. They both put on some weight, and they're not happy with it, so they want to try to get healthy. And so the next day I brought her my card, a sample of Slim, and a catalog. And she came up to me today and she started asking me about several products and which ones I take and which ones I love. And she said she's going to order soon. So that's a big win for me.
That's awesome. That's so awesome, Crystal. And I know Crystal pretty well. She's my level 1 here. And I know that's a huge thing for you to step out of your comfort zone like that. So I appreciate that. Only good things can happen. Last week, I gave y'all the task of watching the Bob Heilig video. Everyone that's watched it said it was incredible. So I have asked 2 people to share just a few minutes. Like I said, we don't have a lot of time, but maybe you can set your timer on your phone so you don't go over 3 minutes to share just the highlights of what it meant to you, or some tips, or just anything about the video, how it spoke to you, just anything at all you want to share. And I asked Heather and Lynn to share. So Heather, you want to go first? Go ahead.
Okay. I have like pages and pages and pages. So I've highlighted a few things. He was talking obviously about personal development, but one of the big things that stood out to me was that he kept talking about in our business, we are talking about success, and success is getting customers, success is getting money, success is the paycheck. But he said, when the only thing you focus on is what you can get, you get big problems. And so everything then flipped, and he was talking about how leadership is giving, not getting. And when you give, that's when you really get, and not big problems, but the good stuff, right? Let me see, where's the next part I got here? And purpose. An emotion that you cultivate inside of yourself, and here's that word give again, you give away to the world in service of others. I'll say it one more time. Purpose is an emotion that you cultivate inside of yourself, and you give away to the world in service of others. And just, was it the Friday Night Live, or it may have been another one training that I watched. They were talking about that same thing about that we need to have value in what we do, not just in our business, but in everything we post, in every interaction we have with people, to add value to things. And so when we're giving stuff away, then we're going to start having people drawn to us, and not just inside of the people we're trying to sell to, but in our own team. We'll start building people that want to be like us and do what we're doing. And that's where success comes in. And then fear. That we're supposed to run towards our fears, not away from them. And once again, he was talking about giving. He said the antidote to fear is service. Often our biggest fears are the reflection of the gifting that's in our life. So his example was that was always afraid of public speaking, and now his life is public speaking, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say this one more thing here. These were the steps to service. Again, giving over and over. As I was going back over my notes, I couldn't believe how many times I saw the word give in there. Ask first how you can give more through your business. The income you make will be a byproduct of impact. So here it is again, add value and give. If our business is built on a foundation of love, service, and generosity, then we're able to share and be vulnerable, and people will be attracted to that. And this last one was like, allowing fear to control your actions is selfish. So when we don't share, or we don't post, or he was talking about in how we lead, if we don't give tough love, if we don't only pour into the people that deserve to be poured into, all these different things, whatever it is your fear is, when you allow that to control you, you are being selfish to everyone else. And I thought that was a really powerful statement that he made. So awesome. I think I stayed in the time.
My phone just died, so I have no idea, but that was wonderful. And it's
okay.
How amazing. If you've not watched it yet, you should watch it. So Lynn, share what your takeaways were about the Bob Heilig video that was the task for this week.
Okay. And I was looking at what she shared and trying not to repeat those things. So kind of the very beginning of it, he said, lead with love. So a lot about that, about giving and everything. And I wrote down a lot of like just pages and pages and pages. But one of the tips he says, the meaning of life is to discover your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. He did talk a lot about fear and acceptance, accepting yourself. You can't give away what you don't have. You got to be vulnerable and be authentic and connect with people. It's okay to tell your team you still have doubts and you still have struggles, because they need to know that you're not perfect. John Maxwell said, credibility isn't perfection. It's the willingness to admit imperfection. At some point, it says you've got to decide whether you want to impress people or influence them. You can impress people from a distance, but you must get close to influence them. And when you do that, they will be able to see your flaws, and that's okay. As a leader, you need to talk twice as much about your failures than you do your accomplishments to your team. You've got to work really hard to let people know that you're a human being, that it's not just what's on Facebook and those perfect poses and that beautiful hair or whatever, that you are imperfect, and they need to see that. Also, leading with love is like raising children. You can't let them get away with stuff. You know, leading with love is not affirming everyone on your team all the time. You do have to ruffle their feathers sometimes and, you know, let them know what they're doing with love, but like what they're doing that they need to improve on, and set structures, boundaries, and discipline. I'm going to skip a little bit to the end of that, just because at the end he said 5 keys. First is that you need to have systems in place. There's different kinds of momentum: personal, company, and the team. The team momentum is the best. That's what you need to concentrate on. There are systems for these things. He talked a lot about that. Prospecting and onboarding are 2 of the most important. There's also standardized opportunity presentation, and you can get that a lot of times from your upline or the back office. Leadership development, and then recognition. People quit because they don't feel appreciated. You need to appreciate your people and let them know that you appreciate them all the time on your team. Let's see how many minutes. I got 10 seconds left. All right, so you need to do your IPA because you need to lead by example, and you need to perform an audit of your business and make sure you have those systems in place for all of those. Okay, that was 3 minutes.
There's no way. I mean, he went for like an hour and 15 minutes. And if you watched it, there's no judgment here. I just want to know who watched it, because I know after this, if you've not watched it, you're going to watch it. But who did watch it? Okay. The thing that really moved me the most, everything was fantastic. But do you remember at the very end where he said his goal in life was to make sure when somebody said the word MLM, that instead of somebody going, ooh, you're one of those people, that they go, wow, some of those generous, caring, beautiful people I know are MLMers. And that's my goal. That's my absolute goal. You know, I sit down with my new ambassador last week that I signed. She's 19 years old, and she told me that at 17, she sat down with her mom and told her mom that she wanted to do Plexus at 17 years old because she had a friend that was doing it. And her mom said, you are not going to be one of those people. And when she told me that last week, when we sit there eating lunch together, it literally pierced my soul. And it immediately made me think of Bob Heilig and what he said. And I looked at Carissa and I said, you know, I understand what your mom is saying, but I'm going to ask you, what do you think about me? And so she told me what she thought about me. And she's like, I've mentored this little girl for about a year. And she said, I love you. She's like, well, is it bad to be one of those people? Am I one of those people? I want one of those people to be, oh my Lord, she's one of those people. She's amazing. She's generous. She's kind. She cares about people. She adds value. And I know that's what all of us strive to do, strive to be. When you build those relationships, y'all, a lot of times you don't even have to. And that's kind of with Carissa. I never, ever intended to sign her as a Plexus ambassador. I intended to add value to her life and love on her. I never brought it up in conversation. She brought it up to me last month and told me her stomach was killing her. So I bought her a bottle of Vital Biome. And in 5 days, she sent me a message and said, my stomach problems are gone. It's gone. You know, I want to do this. And so a lot of times just getting close to people, like somebody said earlier, you know, getting close to people is just I think it was Connie Christie, said she wanted to encourage people and get close to them no matter if it's about Plexus or not. And so I appreciate you because I know y'all are all doing that. I want to mention something that Lynn said. If you've watched the Bob Heilig video, he talks about systems a lot. Tammy and I are working on a complete systems package that is Bob Heilig that we can have on Fab, that you'll know right where to go for onboarding, right where to go for prospecting. It's a 5-system system, just like he talked about. We're adopting his, so we're getting graphics information ready to have that to be able to give to y'all quickly. Can somebody tell me what time it is? Because my phone's dead.
8:31.
8:31. Okay, it's time to go, so I'm going to get this out. I didn't get to do any training, but I'll share what I've done to get me customers this week. It's very simple. 3 or 4 months ago, I printed off my Facebook list. It's almost 100 pages because I have 4,000 friends, and it's set on my desk, and I've looked at it like a green monster, like a big hairy monster. I've looked at it for 4 months. So Monday, knowing that I have this huge goal in front of me and I've got to get some customers, I started going through it 1 page at a time. It actually was going to print 378 pages, and my husband somehow downsized it where it printed 4 pages to a page. So it kind of looks like this. So there's 1 page, there's 1 page, there's 1 page, and there's a page. So I think there's like 36 people total on here. So I just started going down through the list, and I started with when I joined Facebook. I started backwards. So I joined Facebook in 2009. So when printed off, I started with the last sheets first. And what it's done is it's refreshed my memory of people that I've had on my Facebook since 2009 that I've completely forgot about. I don't see them in my newsfeed. I haven't seen them in my newsfeed in years. But it's people that I know. It's people I've known from childhood, high school. So I immediately started, and yesterday alone I got 2 new customers. One of the people on the first sheet is a girl that I went to knew from church camp when I was 16, and her name is Datha. Go figure. We had the same name. And so I messaged her, and I'm like, Datha, I've not talked to you in forever. And so we got to talking back and forth, and I just said real quickly, I said, this is what I sent people because I'm really focusing on Joyum. I said, look, I have no idea if you have a skincare regimen that you love, but in case you don't, I have one that I love, and I'd love to share it with you. So we went back and forth for like an hour, and at the end of the conversation, she ordered Joyum. So yes, I was so excited. So I'm just crossing off people that I know have told me absolutely not, people that are Plexus ambassadors, people that are men that I know I'm not going to talk to them about Plexus. And just going through. And so today alone, okay, I'm numbering my sheets at the top. Today alone, I have conversations going with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21 people. And of the 21, a couple of them I've just put relational messages because I was not going to message them about Plexus when I've not talked to them in so long. The way me and Datha were talking, we talked for like an hour before I brought Plexus up. But I'm going back and forth with a lot of these people. It's working. So your task for the week is to print off your Facebook list. Has anybody done it already? Has anybody started going through it? Okay. I'm going to print directions on, and I'll put it on here on the call of how to print that Facebook list off. Tammy is going to have to go to Kinko's or something because she didn't have any ink in her computer. I think you could email it to yourself. Maybe. Go ahead, Lynn.
You can download it into an Excel spreadsheet.
Okay.
And that's what I did is downloaded it into an Excel spreadsheet. And then you can alphabetize it. You can put the date that you contacted them, what you did it, and you can sort it and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a while since I've done that, but if somebody needs help doing that, I can look at that and help you. That way you don't have to print it. It's just on my computer, so it's with me all the time.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'll put the directions on either Team Freedom or our chat on how to print it off just regular like I did, because I'm completely illiterate, computer illiterate. And I kind of like that I could flip and go from the first person I added on Facebook all the way back to 2009 and then work my way up. But if you'd rather do it a different way and use Excel, reach out to Lynn and hopefully she can help you with that. And let's just try to do that. If there's some reason you can't do it, I understand, but I'm telling you, y'all, it makes a huge difference because I'm seeing people on this list that were not on my radar, that I've not talked to in forever because they've not been on my news feed. And I'm bound and determined to not leave any stone unturned until I contact everybody on my Facebook before I go to the next thing. So thank y'all for being on tonight. I think this has been a great call. Look forward to next week. Y'all, we're starting week 3. And at the end of week 3, we'll be halfway through. So please, I really want everybody on here to stick with it, and let's do this together and finish strong. I know we've lost a few, but we still can finish really, really strong. We're missing Bethany tonight and Tammy, but let's try to stick with the 16 and just finish 16 strong. And love you guys, and I'll have this recording up for Bethany that missed it, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.